Hey, welcome to Whatcha Doin with Brandon Horwin.
And Sophie Williams. And today's special guest
Hi,
is
my name is Jan Lewan, and I'm very happy to be here today. And I am the one who they make a movie on my life, which it's a story up and down. And I'm very excited for everything what's happened in my life at this point. So here we go. Enjoy it.
Well, welcome to Whatcha Doin. And today we have a special guest host on with us. Please introduce yourself.
I am Russell Smouse. I am Brandon's roommate, and we're good friends. And I'm also highly interested in our guest that we have here today.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Well, welcome, Jan. It's great to have you, and we're thrilled to be talking with you today. So, just to start us off, can you tell us a little bit? When did you first know that you were going to be an entertainer, and how did you get your performance career started?
Yeah, well, actually, I was convinced that this is the way to go when my father was playing violin and I was playing piano. My first piano lessons I start when I was 5 years old, and my father was playing violin on many occasions, but special with me, teaching me the folk songs and that. It just without the music, just one after other, and then I entertained the family when it came for the family dinner once a week. During the communist country, that was very popular. The families get together, in a number of 20 or something, and that's only was our main entertainment that time. Special after church, we have a afternoon get together family thing, and I entertain them, and they respond so enthusiastic way. So when I was 16 years old, I applied to the operetta, very popular in Poland, not opera, but operetta, the musical. And then my first one was Orpheus in Hell. It's Offenbach, a very nice kind of music, but I was only 16 years old. So that was rather hard than for the 16 years old. But that was my first lie in my life. I said I am 18. Yeah, so they needed tenors, and I was a tenor, and they accept me in that theater, and that's start. If I can say more about this, so my father always was listening the Radio Free Europe. In Poland, during the communist country, there was very popular program coming from Washington or from Luxembourg in Europe, and they were telling everything what's happened on the West after the Second War. And the impression was that everything is Rosengarten, money hanging on the trees, and just to pick them up, and life is beautiful. Well, we believe on that, and that was actually true, because let's start even from oranges or bananas. I hardly knew what that was, and once at Christmas we have perhaps from somebody or somewhere banana for Christmas. Okay, so the life was difficult during the communist time. Everybody was just reaching to for help in to God in church, and the churches was 100% full. And that was our life. So when I learned how it's beautiful in America, and that was my dream. One day I'm gonna be there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that leads us into our next question.
So I wrote a piece about you for my website. I watched your documentary.
Oh, you did? Hey, good. Yeah.
So you immigrated to North America in the 1970s in pursuit of a performing career, and as I understand it, you were touring with bands playing pop songs and Polish standards. What
Correct.
made you decide to turn your career around and gear it exclusively towards polka music?
Yes. Well, here I was entertaining the combatants from Second War in the beginning. That was for them the closest to the heart was the folk music. Like I just mentioned, when my father was teaching me, the first thing was the folk music, the music with the songs what you were singing when you get together, have a party together at the table, everybody sing this. Yes, that live in the lives of these combatants who emigrate after Second War to United States. The border was open for them, and they were having nostalgia to Poland, and they cannot go back to Poland because if after Second War they from England, they decide they don't want to go to Poland, they're going to go to America. The door was closed for them to come to Poland. And if they will come to Poland, they will be, they will spend quite a bit of time in jail because the Poland become communist country. And they treat these people who left on the West like deserters. So when I start singing these Polish folk songs and turn to polka, that was the hit parade, so that changed the whole thing. And you're talking about 25 million of immigrants after Second War from Poland. So it was a quite bad audience here and there to entertain them, like in Chicago or New Jersey, New York, they were everywhere. They're still there. So.
And when did you start writing your own music?
Well, that lead me to start writing my own music as well, even though I wasn't that good for that. And the polkas and this didn't require to be a Chopin. So it was easy way to do that. And then my music director, Steve Kamiński, his name, also with the Polish heritage, he finished the Hartford University on music department and composer and this, and he fell in love with polkas as well, and he was making this arrangements and upgrade my compositions. So the full credit not going to me to compose this polkas. Yes, I did. And that when we later on, during our conversation, I guess we're going to talk about my time when I was on vacation. And that's what I composed on my own, which Jack Black using in my movie for several times. Yeah.
And where can our listeners find your music?
Say again.
Where, for our listeners, who listening to this and want to check out some of your music, where can they go to listen to some of your?
Oh yes, well, it's a lot on the YouTube in this moment. At that time I was selling records in a mass production, but today they can look at on my website and they can see if perhaps they would even like to purchase CD that is available on the YouTube. It's very much and the other sources of buying CDs and this. Oh, and what else is that? By Daddy Yashu, help me out here. When they can buy my 45 my new recording electronically on by iTunes. No. What else is?
Spotify. There's Spotify as well.
Yes, and another item. Yes.
All right, so that leads us somewhat into our next question. You were nominated and you attended the Grammys in 1995. What was it like having that national recognition in your career like that? On a personal.
Well, that was a turning point to the bigger things happen. Since I create a lot of the promotion on my own, yeah. And due to this 10 different businesses I was carrying on, being oops, I did something. Okay, you got it. Yeah, being nominee in the Grammy Award, they opened door for me for the other opportunity, yeah, like Las Vegas, let's say. I knew that I have to be there somehow, and I went and I did on my own with the Hilton Hotel at the airport when Elvis Presley performed. If he performed in Las Vegas, was only in the showroom in Las Vegas Hilton Airport. He never performed any other place. So I thought, perfect for me. So I went there and I simply make arrangements. I told them I'm gonna bring full planes of people. I'm gonna bring 1,000 people. Give me the showroom. I'm gonna do my show here, and they went for that. And believe or not, I create the almost full house in the Hilton Hotel. It was 1988. And that time, even Wayne Newton, the famous entertainer in Las Vegas, gave me to use his stage, what he creates with the steps, with the elevator, with the racket, and this. And he said, since Jan have his show afternoon and I doing the tribute to Presley at the evening, I don't want it to turn down this stage what he designed for his several shows. Let him use that. So I used that stage, but on top of this, Wayne Newton gave me his entire orchestra as well. So my big band and the Wayne Newton Orchestra and the Steve Kaminsky, my music director, have enough time to make arrangements for all of them. And that really opened door for many other shows, like in the Sands Convention Center and things like that. So, and then of course the Trump people saw that too, and they engaged me in the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, which I was performing there for 17 years. Huge thing. I was the also organizer of the festival and the front man to entertain. And I hire others. Since I hire others, that opened door for me, them to hire me, and one to another, that's create a different line of entertainment, thanks to the Grammy nominee. And that song in Grammy nominee, that song was Ole Ole, it's called Ole, 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 okay. That, my cameraman was with me in Poland. And one gentleman, he didn't feel too good. He was falling down with his accordion and this, but he was playing, Ole, 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 Ole. I say, you know what, John, type that, recorded that. And he recorded that. I brought that here. I make a little bit more music to that. And then Kaminsky make arrangement this, and here we were nominated for that. No.
Wow, that's a great story. So,
yeah.
Switching gears just a little bit, to an important topic. Your story is featured in the Netflix original movie, The Polka King, where you are portrayed by Jack Black. What did you first think when you were approached by the folks that they were making a movie of your life story? And what were your initial thoughts after watching the film for the first time?
Yeah, well, this is a very nice question. But here, each time when I have interview, each time something new come up, because I have a very kind of rich, very busy life. I never stop. Waking up 6 o'clock in the morning, go sleep 10, 11, and through the day, very little time I spent to rest, and that built up tremendously everything. So in this case, I was I have when I wrote the book, which never was published yet, they were interesting from Europe, related with Polański. I don't know if you remember do you read the name Polański, the director who living in Europe. He cannot come back to United States. And he make many beautiful movies like Pianist and others there. So one of his manager flew in to Hazleton after my prison time, and he wrote 46 pages of my book, which I wrote 1,300 pages. And a friend of my journalist offered me to redo this book, and this, but unfortunately, he only wrote 46 pages so far. They read that and they signed a contract with me for the movie in Europe, but with condition that in 1 year, that book will be finished. So they send the contract, they send the money for my attorney. Everything was perfect, but unfortunately, my friend journalist didn't have a time to write, to finish the book. And they canceled the contract. So I thought, well, I had a chance, but I'm not going to have a movie of my life. But meantime was that documentary movie on, which thanks to my cameraman, they have lots of material to use to create this documentary quite interesting way, entertaining and this and that. So one day I got the phone from Hollywood, and that producers want to come to meet me in Florida. I was already moved to Florida, and they flew in. We have a meeting and we talk about it. They saw my pictures and life and this. And that time even arrived a movie from Russia when I was 25 years old. I was performing, representing Poland in Russia. And they saw that and they say, oh my gosh, that you have quite a bit in your life, up and down. And this, you don't mind when we're gonna also show your download? I say, of course I don't mind. I don't mind absolutely, because that's my life. If I don't want to wash the hands when I did something wrong or good, here it is. And I put everything on table. So 6 months passed by and I didn't hear from them. So I told John, my friend, I said, you know what? There's nothing going to be happen with that. But then the phone ring from Hollywood, and Dave Perman, that's the gentleman who produced this movie, Heartbreak Ridge. What?
Heartbreak Ridge with Mel Gibson.
Did you hear that?
Heartbreak
Okay.
Ridge.
The Gibson did a very good job on that and this. And then they say, well, we finished this movie. It's going to be soon on. And now we're looking to make another movie. I said, wow. And they said that Jack Black gave them call and said, look, do not look for nobody else who will play Jan Lewan. I'm born to play Jan Lewan. Well, for me, that was fantastic. And they say, we're rolling. I say, beautiful. And then a month later, they called me, they offered me a couple of dollars and this and that. We have a meeting again on the phone, like talking to you right now. And they say, we're going to start production in 1 year. Okay. Since then, Jack Black was with me for 6 months, every night, 8 till 10 on the phone, on the face. And he learned my entire life. Yeah? And he really did good job, my accent, my everything. And then here we go. Then movie born. That's I went to New York. I was teaching him Polish, and we recorded together. And I was recording first. He repeat. He's perfect for that. I mean, perfect. So in 2 days, we're recording entire music to the movie. So that was big thing. Then every night he invited us for dinner. My musicians, everybody was enjoying with Jack Black. He is down there, excellent, perfect man, and I know he is like normal, down to earth. So we did have a great time, and then we went for the movie when they were filming. I went there too, and then the movie right now it's number 10. Yesterday we found top 10.
It's number 6.
Yeah. What? Who make that? M something, some kind of production. Now in the top 10 on Netflix. Yeah.
Excellent.
Which is great.
Congratulations. That's excellent.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Yeah.
So, obviously with this movie, some, artistic liberties were taken in the creation of it, such as the creation of the character of Mickey Pizzazz. What is it like seeing, having your life story, what is it like seeing people take artistic liberties with your life story?
Well, I'm fortunate to see my life that kind of way, because they first of all, they did fantastic job, and it's a few things what I will either say, well, I don't, that wasn't true, and maybe it shouldn't be in, but because they did the same thing in the documentary. I am a Roman Catholic religion man, okay? And it was one part in the movie what I only not regret. I only will wish to be to know they're gonna do that way. To tell them, I don't think so. Let you hear me how that was happened. I talking about one thing only bother me with the Holy Father in the Vatican. I never went with a suitcase of money. Like you go to church, you put the money on the basket because you have to support the church. Yeah? So when I took 100 people, maybe I changing subject, but I have to unload myself. When you have 100 people who would like to meet the Holy Father, and I make arrangements that we stay in Holy Father Foundation convent, when that same nuns was cooking for them and they cooking for us. So we actually eat the same food what Holy Father was eating the same day. So they will appreciate that I was able to arrange overnight to staying in Holy Father Foundation. It was like 100 rooms up there, and the convent with one bathroom on each floor. People not always were too happy that there wasn't Holiday Inn, but I tell them, look it, put in envelope $100 with your address, with your name, and with the request for transfer this to Holy Father Foundation, when they will, it's still existing, to educate the young priest, so we won't have any corruptions in the church. Okay, now when the 100 people, it's $10,000. Okay, so I pick up all of these envelopes, and they knew that I will help to help for the Holy Father Foundation. So when we have a meeting, I presented to Holy Father with the request of transfer to Holy Father Foundation, and that was the true story. Now, the documentary say, well, look at it's so much corruption in the church, so we did that way that you when they bring a suitcase of money. Why? I said, John, why you do that? that's wasn't like that, but it was too late. Yeah, when they did the documentary, I was in prison. I have no control at all. But in the movie, of course, they use that in the script, that kind. So otherwise, 95% everything is true what is in the movie. And I was very happy. I watched that movie many times. Even my grandson right now, they went to Tampa yesterday, and with all of the friends, he always put the Polka King on the on the TV. Everybody watching, he's so proud. He's 8 years old, but he called himself, and we call him too, the Polka Prince. Actually, Jack Black said, "You are the Polka Prince." So he living with this. So, and I'm very happy. I'm gonna leave something when I began, that the story will be alive. Yeah, and maybe some people will learn. Hey, look at maybe to avoid some of the problems and having such a success. Maybe it wasn't necessary to do other things, but for me, it's too late. I learned as well. And I'm not ashamed over that. I'm still believe that if that things will be different, that I will still make it, so it's lots of attachment to that. So.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. And it's great to hear your grandson is sort of basking in his grandfather's glory a bit, and a little bit of being able to spotlight, which is very, very nice to hear with Jack and such. So continuing along that path of keeping the story alive, we hear that there is a Broadway musical in development about your life. How did this come about?
Well, my music director is when they decide that they accept to use his arrangements and compositions in the movie. On the end, he composed a very nice song, "Thank You, Jesus." I don't know how. Sometimes on the end of the movie you don't hear that. Sometimes you do. In the credits. Beautiful. So Jack Black even said that, that's whole thing can go on Broadway. So we've got this idea of Broadway, and the son of Steve Kamiński is the Broadway director, a music director, traveling with the Broadway productions, very much involving in and with his connection and Steve Kamiński connection and my book and the movie and documentary and this. So here to put one package together, the Polka King on Broadway, but we're supposed to have meetings and everything to finalize, and unfortunately, due to coronavirus, everything is on hold. Then it's supposed to be January, September. Now they switch for January, and it doesn't look that that's going to be happen in the short time, So, but it will be. It's done. So it's exciting time, and I think when the School of Rock was on Broadway, and movie have featured Jack Black in the, so too much related with everything. So it's a very, very good chance that even though now the productions are laying on the table to be in Broadway, so I don't think ours will be shoved on the side, because it's quite powerful and different. Yeah, you don't have too many Broadways with polkas, so that may be something new, something different, something interesting.
Yeah. So you said in terms of the process of its development that it's done. So does that mean that the script and everything has sort of been finalized in terms of its draft, and now it's just planning on when it's going to hit the stage?
Exactly. And then it's a question how many Broadway theaters will be open, how many producers and the whole thing. Lots of people pass away. It's going to take time till all grow back to normal time. Yeah, so that's only. But I couldn't talk too much about that. But in Europe, something born, and we're supposed to go there March 15. It's postponed till May, because the countries in Europe like Holland, Germany, and this are practically closed by now. They having bigger problem than we are here in United States. So, but if that's going to be happen, we may talk again.
Absolutely. Well,
I just
you never know you never know who's going to listen to this episode. We've had a lot of guests and continue to have a lot of guests from Broadway, actors, producers, directors have been on our podcast.
Super.
So you just don't know who may tune in and want to get in on it.
Exactly. Yes. We have some company investors, and that they already contact us. Well, they want to be the part of it, but I'm actually don't have too much to do with that anymore.
Right.
It's about me, and I'm gonna enjoy it and look at the final project, and I wash my hands from everything else. But just wanted to add that when we were talking about this whole activities in United States, that is overlooked in a movie, and this. I was doing that for 20 years. Right? That it's even more than 20 years. So that related with my activities of investments and everything. So I always wanted to mention that, so people will perhaps understand that wasn't short term.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is changing pace a little bit again. Can you share with us how you were able to rebuild yourself and your career after you were released?
Well, I never give up. Even being in prison, my main thing was to live with the memory and looking what's going to be in the future. So writing the book, that was the answer. And somehow being isolated like that, your mind working much better than during the daily activities outside, because you have nothing else. You have these four walls, and when you sit, you are very much conscious. I remember things that everybody was asking, how you remember that? I mean, it's just like you living again. I didn't miss anything in that. So that helped me out to pass this and to think what I gonna do when I come back. I never thought when I gonna wrote this rapping polka, which will give me idea from the other inmates who was sitting on the bong, and they were mostly they were rapping the very much spiritual songs. Yeah, they were everything. Help me, Jesus, help me. That everything was related with that. So I like it, and it was just like. Then I told myself, what's wrong to have a polka rap? Yeah. So then I start writing. It took me 5 years. But that rapping polka, it's my entire life. Yeah, from that, when they heard that in Hollywood, they knew that's gonna be the main thing, and that's what, on the end, when he coming back from the prison with the cassette he putting in and rapping that, and after that he rapping with the orchestra, and on the end they gave me this nice shot in the arm that I was doing this with my orchestra originally right after the prison, because that's what I did. After the prison, I called my my musicians, and even the ones who I was forced to not fire. I don't want to use the word fire, but yeah, the ones what I excuse, everybody came. Nobody hold anything against me. We have like 26 musicians on the stage. And I did the reunion concert. It was sold out. And thanks God, my cameraman who always travel with me and his assistant, Joe, they were traveling with me everywhere and everything what I done. And they came for that too. And they filmed that. And thanks God they did that, because that footage has been used in a movie, and of course documentary and American Grit and everything else. So that start. And when I did that, we produced the video from the concert, CD from the concert. Then I will start sending here and there and advertise for sale. Well, somebody somewhere, but when they went the right direction, and the people who have something to do with entertainment business, they get hooked on that, and here we go.
Absolutely. Well, based off that, you are now known as the Polka King practically all over the world. And so how does it feel to have made your mark on the world in that sense?
Well, good and bad, not bad, good and a little bit, we do have a Polka Kings, and that's not me. One of them, Frankie Yankovic, that was during the Second World. He was the one who was on the hit parade. And at that time he composed the song, Just Because You Think You're So Pretty, Just Because You Dumb, da-da-da. He became Slovenian Polka King. And he also, he was my friend. When I was performing in Clearwater, he was already retired. He came over, he was sitting, we were, so he was supporter, so nice. Unfortunately, he passed away when I was in the prison. But that's the one Polka King. We have another Polka Kings, like one of them also, his name Happy Louis, professional musician after music college, but he got hooked on polkas. So he composed different level polkas. And that hit right there to the hearts of the polkas. So and the other bands will start playing that and this. So, but me, due to this movie and all of this happened in my life, and repeating the Polka King, well, I accept. I have a T-shirt, the Polka Kings.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we always do this on the show, or I guess I should say they always do this on the show. So what is your favorite story from your career that you would like to share with us today?
Well, the famous story from my career, I should say that was the time when I was working for the Taj Mahal, Trump Taj Mahal in New Jersey, in Atlantic City. Yeah. Due to this long term of making festivals 2-3 times a year, we have between 15 to 30,000 people each time, and here and there the stars were coming in. I met the people which I will never meet before, but speaking, that gave me opportunity to have most beautiful memory of the time spending with famous people who didn't deny to who have the time for me. Okay, seeing me performing and having mass of people, even the Lenny, what was that talk show? You were with him, Larry King, no, and many others. They that gave me a bit. But let's put this way: the most the most beautiful time, what I never forget, that was when I was master ceremony for President Reagan in 1984, September 12th. That was the first big time, and went through my life. When I met George Bush and sang for him with my orchestra, when meet, of course, Trump, that was happened, but I don't know how much we're going to talk about that. But that was the time. What it was the very good time for me. But the President Reagan will always live in my memory. That was a great man. I was the master ceremony. I couldn't even pronounce right way the governor Turnbull for that time in Pennsylvania, who walked with President Reagan. So I support myself with other disc jockey with English, but that was my still to be desired. I mean, still it is, but now I understand and I speak, and you know, English is no problem for me in this point. But that time, that was the best time in my life, from entertainment business, from meeting this extraordinary person.
Jack Palance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And my neighbor later on was Jack Palance, famous Hollywood actor. But if once you nominate for Grammy, you meet lots of people up there. Yeah. So that's, but due to my work, you meet them different way. You meet them closer. You have a dinner, you have a conversation, you keep communication for some time, you know, and that's the life. If once you bite this back seal of entertaining, you cannot get rid of that.
Thank you, Jan, so much for joining us. And it's been an honor and a thrill to really highlight your career and learn a lot about you. And, thank you for sharing it honestly and with humor and good faith and
Thank you.
great smiles. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
I also appreciate that you're not digging too much in my crime, but just to add it, I have nothing high. Okay, so my crime was committed due to the circumstances, and that I appreciated that you didn't come to that subject, but nevertheless, next time you can't. No problem.
Okay. Thank you so much.